Wiggity wiggity, what up, it's ya boy William /ask Reddit by Ask Planet. What do you keep from your partner? The fact that I'll propose to her in a few weeks. Good thing she doesn't use any social media. Nice, man. Finally a wholesome comment. Good luck. Hope she says yes. That I dread coming home after work, or sitting at the dinner table with her, or dealing with her crankiness when she goes to bed. Depression changes people. It makes them selfish, sensitive, defeated, and highly irritable. I understand depression enough to know it's largely not her fault. She was entirely different before the depression set in. If I hint in any way how hard it is to be around her, she breaks down and can't function. So I smile, listen, and pretend I'm happy to be around her, for her sake. Yo, I was your partner in this situation. It took almost 2 years and a near divorce for me to get diagnosed, and a ton of heartache between my husband and I that we're still recovering from 2 years later. You need help just as much as she needs help. You already know that depression fucks with a person's perception of the world and interactions around them, but that doesn't mean you're not allowed to set boundaries to protect your own mental well-being. My husband absorbed far more of my issues pre-diagnosis than anyone should ever be expected to handle. Love does not make a relationship. Good communication, a sense of self and partner respect, and the ability to work as a team are what make a relationship. Love will come and go, but your ability to support each other is what will make a relationship last, and it has to go both ways. There will be times where one or the other need more of that support, but one person consistently finds themselves holding all the burdens of the relationship. It needs to be fixed. She will be resistant to communication on the topic because the anxiety of knowing you're being shitty and feeling like you have no control over that takes you over. There's also a chance that her perception of time has been fucked up, and her view of "I've only been like this for a couple months" could in reality have been ongoing for years. Therapy has to be an ultimatum for the relationship to continue, for both of your sakes. It's going to hurt, and there's going to be a recovery period because she will see the ultimatum as a betrayal, but it has to happen for either of you to find a sense of health in your relationship. If you're committed to staying with her if therapy fails/she refuses, definitely read books/join groups for being loved ones with someone suffering from depression. Post-diagnosis and mid-treatment, I couldn't hear my husband because of the amount of pain built up between us. The ways he tried to help hurt me more, and the ways I responded to his attempts to help hurt him. I read How You Can Survive When They're Depressed, Living and Coping with Depression Fallout by Anne Sheffield to try and understand his perspective, and honestly it was eye-opening for me as much as it was for him. Seeing my own symptoms being told through the stories of the people who loved depressives was the click I needed to really begin to pursue treatment and understand I have no choice in the matter if I truly loved my husband. My husband and I now know how to recognize the signs that I might be slipping back and at what point I need to go in to get help. We have given each other permission in arguments to check the source of a feeling without escalating the situation, just to make sure we're on the same page. You know depression isn't easy, but you are a partner in a relationship, and your needs should be taken care of too. No amount of love is going to fix the damaged trust, the underlying pain and anger, and the overall hurt to come of a relationship with a person with depression who doesn't seek the care they need. Thank you so much for writing this. I needed this. I hope it helps Op out too. That's my ex-boyfriend right there. He was so hard to deal with, to manage, to keep happy. It drained my every ounce of energy. People romanticize depression way too much. My ex-wife too. I had to do all the chores, all the cooking, all the rearing of the child, 0 to 2.5 before the divorce, and all the money making. I knew she was going through a lot, but she also refused to go to therapy and even lied about going. I found our kid playing with her stash of medication she was hiding to make it seem like she was taking it. It got too much. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Yeah, I did learn a valuable lesson from that relationship. You can't help people who don't want to be helped. You tried your best, and so did I. The only direction is forwards. Please, for your own sake, get some help with this. Dealing with a depressed partner is so difficult, especially if you're taking on a caregiving role. Codependence Anonymous is a great place to start, as are any books/podcast about codependency. I wish I could express my solidarity in a way that is eloquent or insightful, but when it comes to this topic I struggle. It's too raw, too real, and too recent. But I am typing a post anyway, joining the chorus here because I wish someone had said it to me. I gave up 5 years of my life draining every spare trickle of energy, money, time, effort, and optimism into an endless black hole I loved. No matter what I asked her about, her day, her hobbies, her family, the answer was always soul-suckingly negative. No matter how much I tried to stand in the way of her self-harm, some always got through. There were nights I spent the whole night holding her hands while she dug her fingernails into my palms, because if I didn't she'd scratch herself up in her sleep. Nights where I ended up with bloody, aching palms and no sleep and got up to go to work. I could have found a way to live with it, but she'd skip her meds, weaponize her sadness in arguments, and use it to deflect my concern about guys she was hanging out with. If we fought, she'd deliberately lightly overdose on her meds, just enough to be seriously ill for a few days. It worked for so long. She was the bitterest lesson of my life. That people can suffer unimaginably things that are not their fault, but still have the capacity to make the decisions that make them bad, selfish people. That depression is an illness, but also can be used as a sword and a shield to defend from any accusation and attack the person who loves the most. It will be many, many years before I am able to truly trust and love again, if ever. For your heart, soul, and sanity, at least talk to a psychologist. I've been in that tunnel. There's no light waiting on the other end. There's no day she'll wake up and realize what a hero you are. The path gets darker and only darker if it keeps going the way it's going now without professional intervention. I finally left her, but I'm in that darkness still and just starting to learn how to light matches again. Please, 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 make a plan before this damages you more than you perhaps don't realize it already has. This is the reason I don't share my depressive thoughts with my boyfriend. I'd hate if he'd feel drained because of me, so I just hide my feelings and smile. I thought countless times about breaking up with him just because it's hard to carry on the act. I'm in therapy and medication, but it hasn't been helping. It's so hard to be happy. Maybe I really should break up. He deserves someone happy. You don't have to be explicit about your feelings. When I'm in a depressive episode, I just tell my husband that I'm having an especially bad day. He doesn't need to know the text behind the negative thoughts. I don't have to pretend everything's fine, and it allows him to provide support in a boundary healthy way without taking the nitty-gritty details onto himself. Low-key kinda surprised your therapist hasn't given you direction on having this type of communication with your boyfriend, but maybe because we're married they made it a priority. As someone with depression, this scenario sounds like a nightmare. I wouldn't want to make anyone feel like that. Maybe talk it out. Burden is halved when shared. You're me 3 years ago. Except it wasn't depression, she was just a huge f***ing bitch. A relationship where you can't communicate is impossible, as I learned the hard way. I wish the best for both of you. My partner and I are going through something very similar. Reading this hit close to home. Bodily functions. More specifically bathroom time. I shut the door. Every single time. She don't give a damn. Wide ass open. I don't care how long I'm with someone and how close we are. I just like privacy in the bathroom. No need for him to see it all. Together 16 years, door always closed for either of us. Somehow we still discovered that we wipe differently. You find things out that you never wanted to know. Alright, which one of you does it standing? Or worse, one of them isn't a folder. Or worse yet, the ones you can literally hear wiping back and forth. In public restrooms, I should clarify. She thinks I don't pee in the shower, but I sometimes do. My wife gets angry with me when I pee in the shower. but it's usually because she's taking a bath. Edit, thank you for the awards. I'll let the wife know her participation wasn't in vain. Bravo. This is the type of comment I'd think I would have read on Reddit at some time before now, but haven't. Nice work. When we showered together, my husband always made me wait a couple minutes before getting in. I thought it was because he wanted to wash his junk/beehole privately. But I got in too soon once, and it was actually because he was peeing in the shower. Lamau. Thank you for supporting Planet Reddit, you guys are the best.